Hi, Jason here with rucRak, and today we're going to put together a rucRak Recruit. So, comes in this box, and first thing we're going to do is we're going to get out our decal pack, and we're going to need that later, and the instructions. And you're not going to read these anyway, which is why I'm making this video. So, let's get out all of our parts. Now, what I want to explain is the steps to this are the same whether you're running the fixed mount recruit or the swing arm recruit. It doesn't change. It's exactly the same. The only difference at the end is you'll be able to swing this out, and this you will not. Okay, so we've got all of our parts laid out. Now I have a little bit of OCD, so I will lay them out by part number so I can put my hands on them really quick. And if you'll notice in your instruction manual that you probably already threw away, that you will need a few tools. You're going to need a 1/2 inch wrench, a 9/16 wrench. I do provide you with some hex keys in there, but I find it a little better to work with these Allen head sockets, and that's a 3/32. No, yeah, 3/16 and 7/32. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get our T-bar out, and we're going to cut this off here. We won't need those for a minute. Now, the best way to do this is to actually do this in a bench vise or in the hitch. But we're going to go around the rules just a little bit for this video because I want you to be able to see this really well. So the first thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to take these off too. And these are our, what I'm calling the Z adapter plates. Okay? And they're going to go in facing you like this. Alright? So what we're going to do is we're going to use part number 203. And if you, camera woman will get in here really close, I'm just going to put these in here like this. So you see on the front side and the back side, these need to line up with those holes. But we're just going to hand tighten that for right now on both sides here. And then we're going to go after part number 219. And we're going to get some washers here, which are part number 222 for these big 3/8 bolts. We're going to do this. Alright, I'm going to put a washer on both of those. And then we're going to put a washer on the back side. Now, interesting thing about washers, as I've said in my other videos, is that they are side concentric. So if you'll see, this side right here is a little more dull than the front side, and it's got a teeny tiny lip on the back side. You want to put that side to the inside where it's gripping the material. A flat washer actually has a little tiny grip on the back side of it there. So get those in like that, and then you're going to go after part number 221, which are the nuts. And we're not going to tighten this up yet because we're going to do some other stuff before we get this tight. I just want to get the nuts and stuff on there, and then we'll do the other side just like that. The next thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to get these short square tubes off here. Okay, and they are going to go on like this. So you see this has a bottom hole and a top hole here, and this is going to line up right there. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to, let's look at the instructions. And we're going to go after the 3/8 by 2.5, which is part number 220. And we're going to put a washer on both sides of that. Okay, I'm going to do that on both sides. And then we're going to put the nuts on there, part number 221. And look at there, it worked out perfect because I don't have any more washers and I don't have any more 3/8. So now we're going to get out the 5/16 stuff, which is part number 217, 207, and 205. And we're going to take the 217, which is 5/16 by 2.5, and we're going to put some washers on it and some nuts. And this goes washer, and this will go through here. I'm going to put a washer on the other side here, and then we'll put a nut on here. Oops. Okay, and then we'll do the other side the same way. And remember, we're not tightening any of this stuff up quite yet, because there's a sequence that I want you to follow. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to take your part number 302, which is I think it's 302, no, I'm sorry, 301, which is the small hex key, and tighten this down just a hair. And then we're going to do this one, part number 302 is for the big one. So we're going to tighten the outside one first here. And you'll need a 9/16 for that. Now, for those of you that are using Allen head socket, this is stainless steel and nylon lock nuts. They do not like each other at all. So if you tighten these too fast and heat that nylon up, you'll get it stuck and it won't ever come off until you cut it off. So just be cognizant of that. As you're doing that, and go kind of slow. You definitely don't want to use any power tools on this. You need to finesse it just a little bit. Now, if you had this in the hitch, like I've suggested it'd be easier to do this if you can have a little more grip on it. But I want you to tighten that like crazy. And then we're going to do this one, which is the inside one. And then we're going to do the top one. And then when you're doing this, I want you to make sure that when you get it this tight here, that this is all flush here. That this tube is flush with the mount on both sides, and it's nice and plumb. And now we can go back and tighten this one again. And then we're going to take our 1/2 inch and the little hex screw again and tighten this one last. And then yes, I want you to tighten that so that those ears kind of bend in a little bit. And I want you to tighten the crap out of it. Okay. And we're going to do the same thing for the other side. Now, the next step is to put these bolts inside this basket. And if you were doing a ruck wagon accessory kit along with your installation and assembly of this, then refer to the ruck wagon assembly here before you go any further. If you're not, stick around. So what we're going to do is there's these 4 holes in this basket here. And we're going to take part number 208 and we're going to put them in there because those holes are threaded. So we'll screw those in there just like that. Do not over tighten these. This is aluminum and they're fine threaded. So they don't need you to crank down on them like He-Man. They just need to be what we Southerners like to say, good and snug. And you close one eye and it's on. Okay, do that on all 4 of those and we'll proceed to the next step. Okay, now we're going to set this to the side of a second and then we're going to build our little hinge system that allows it to do the flippity flops. You're going to need all of these. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to orient this tube so that the plastic cap is facing towards you and the nutsert is on the other side and facing up just like that. And then we're going to go back to the 217 5/16 by 2.5. I'm going to put some washers on there. But before you put this on, we're going to put part number 206, which are these little nylon washers. And we're going to put those on the inside here. And that's a very important step. It will not work correctly if you don't do this and space this out. And we're going to slide this on. Okay. And it may tilt up a little bit when you first put it on. That's fine. It'll when we cinch it all together, it'll be perfect. All right. And then we're going to take this little, what I'm calling a gusset. Oh, nope. We're going to put another washer here on the inside there. And then we're going to put our gusset on. And then we're going to put a washer And then we're going to put a nut. And then we're going to tighten these up very tight. But remember what I said about stainless steel and nylon. Kind of go slow and tighten this up a little bit at a time on each side until you got them both good and tight. And as you see, that pulled all that down so where it's good and parallel now. Alright, and then we're going to rinse and repeat on the other side. Now, we're going to put our basket mounting points on here. As you see, there's a big hole there and a little hole there. What we're going to do is we're going to put that down right there. And we're going to take part number 201, which is the 5/16 by 2 1/4, and get those two out. And you're going to have a part number 240. And that's a big nylon washer. What we're going to do is we're going to take the stainless steel washer. We're going to put it on the outside of that. We'll put it in that big hole right there. And we're going to take this washer and put it on the inside and slide it right through this hole right here. Okay? And that's going to allow that basket to pivot. And do not skip the nylon washer or it won't work. And so this is very important. This needs to be tight. Oh, we almost skipped a step here. We need these. So part number 212 is the lanyard, and part number 211 is the pin. And that's going to pin this into either the cargo position or the bike position. So we're going to put that lanyard on that there, and then we're going to scoop this around that nut right there. And I like to put it in the pinhole where it goes right here and kind of hold it up while I tighten it like that. Now, the important thing here is to get this tight, but you don't want to tighten the crap out of it. You just want it like through the nylon here. See, right here. You just want it through the nylon here, but you don't need to tighten the absolute. It needs to be good and snug, but it doesn't need to be tightened the crap out of because you want to be able to pivot this. So as long as you can pivot that and it's pretty stiff, that's great. And then you can put your pin back in there and test it out, and everything's hunky-dory. So we're going to do that on the exact same on the other side. So now that we've got both of these on, this is a good opportunity to put our indicator stickers on. Now, when this is folded down in this position, where this flat part is on the bottom, not on the top, that's your bike position. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this, and there's a little hole in the bottom of it in the bike here. So you just line that hole up with the hole in where the pin goes, and boom. Then on this side, you're going to put the gear sticker on, but the gear sticker is actually going to be upside down. And it's going to go on like this, so that when you turn it over, boom, that's where your gear pin goes. Okay? So we're going to do that on both sides. So now we're going to mount this hinge point to the T-bar that we built earlier, which you see I've already plugged in my hitch. So I have the last of the part number 217, which is the 2.5 inch bolts here. And I got everything I need to put that on down here, because we're going to put that here on the vehicle actually. So if you'll come with me, we've got, I've already put my washers on. So what we're going to want to do is we're putting this hole right here and the same on the other side. So what I'm doing is just that, and then we can find it over here. There we go. And then we can put washer, nut, nut, and these are the same as the other pivot point. You don't want to tighten the crap out of them. You just want them good and snug, and so that the bolt is through that nylon, because this is a pivot point. So all this is securing it. It's not, doesn't need to be tight. So you see I've got it through the nylon there. That's all I want to do. I'm going to do the same thing over here. Okay, that's all I want to do. And so it moves up and down freely, and it sits there. And we're going to pull these two pins and flip this around like this in preparation for the next step. Okay, now we're ready to put the basket on, and this is kind of important here. So some of you, as you see, this basket is the same basket we use in the full-size rucRak, and it's designed so that camera can see there. But some of you are going to have a license plate, so depending on where that license plate is, you're going to want to make it visible. So you can turn this basket upside down either way you want to, but make sure that when it's folded up, that you're going to see that license plate. Okay? For this one, I'm going to do like this. So I'm going to drop these three. Remember these that we put in before? We're going to drop in those 4 holes right there. And then we're going to take what should be the last part you have, and we're going to tighten these up. These are part number 209. And we're going to put those at all 4 corners. And they just need to be good and snug. You don't need to crank down on them. Like I said, this is aluminum. They're fine threaded, so they're going to tighten up really well. And you don't need to really crank down on them a lot. Now, when you fold this thing up, whether it's on a camper or a pickup truck or whatever, you're just going to pull the 2 pins, and you can flip it over and put it in the bike position, or you can fold this up. I'm going to take these knobs right here, and my cameraman will come back here. You're going to put it right there in that hole right there, and twist, and you may have to wiggle it just a little bit to get it going. But you want to start them on both sides, and then you can tighten it up, and away you go. Now, everybody that buys a full-size rucRak or Recruit rucRak gets this decal pack. So with the recruits, I like to take this sticker right here and I like to put this one right here and this one right here. So when installing this, of course you want to put your pin in, but your kit came with a stabilizer. And I know some of you have bike racks and that do that right there. That's no bueno. So I provide you with a stabilizer kit. You're going to drop this down over there. You're going to put the bent part to the back. You're going to slide that under hitch. And then you can put a flat washer on, a lock washer on, and a nut. And then the same thing on the other side. For you guys that have been hankering to tighten the crap out of something, here's your chance. Because we're going to pull that up evenly. And as you see, it's already stabilized that. So you tighten that up pretty good and you're good to go.